Om Tat Sat. Welcome to Gyan Bhakti. We are currently exploring the scripture Mysticism of Srimad Bhagavatam. Commentaries by my Guruji, Swami Jyotirmayananda Ji Maharaj, narrated by myself, Swami Nikhilanand. So in today's satsang, we will cover Krishna breaking Kamsa's great bow, which is what he was trying to do to attract this big festival. After leaving Trivakra transformed and most beautiful, Krishna and his party then approached the gateway to the arena. There they saw the giant bow, the pride of Kans, which appeared like a rainbow decked with precious jewels. In spite of all the guards who tried to stop him, Krishna went right up and lifted that bow, stringing it with such force that the bow broke with a thunderous crash. Immediately, many demoniac attendants of Kans rushed at the brothers to destroy them, Krishna and Balrama, but they quickly slew them using the two pieces of the broken bow as weapons. You will remember in Ramayana, Lord Rama also broke Shiva's bow in order to marry Sita. So there are deep mystical meanings and significance behind these beautiful stories. So the meaning here is that the bow of Kansa represents a subtle illusion in the mind, a hard nut to crack, deep within our understanding. This illusion keeps us glued to the sense of individuality and leads us through endless cycles of birth and death, always believing that one day we will find perfect happiness within the world. Why? Because we cannot give up the me identity, me and mine, this is my stuff, I am separate from you. That identity is the one that is the major culprit because it is bound to the ego. If we were to break that illusion, one would begin to tread the path of nivritti, the path that leads to liberation. That is the path we need to be trying to take in this human body. As long as that illusion is there, we are treading the path of pravritti, the path of repeated embodiment. So there are two paths. One, we don't come back, we connect with God, we get enlightened and attain mukti, freedom, self-realization. The other one is the path of pleasure, sense enjoyments, doing good things. You're also spiritual and you do pujas and you do good to the world, some selfless service, etc. But you have not been able to intensify that process. So that is the journey of coming back, because eventually we will all have to get enlightened, but the process is fast or slow depending on our vairagya and our effort. Following the path of pravritti implies that we are trapped in a realm of karma. Karma creates bondage and bondage creates results, and we have to face the consequences of those. That's why reincarnation is so potent. It continues to feed us our actions. As a result of performing good karmas, we go to the heavenly realm, Swarga, after death, and as a result of negative karmas, we are sent to hellish worlds. However, having exhausted those karmas, we are born in the world again. From one life to the next, we remain an individual caught in the realm of Maya, illusion, involved in pursuing the perishable fruits of karma. Perishable because karma comes, fructifies, and then it ends. Then a new karma comes, fructifies, and it ends. And therefore that cycle becomes endless. Following the path of nivritti means that we are performing good karmas in order to purify our heart with a spirit of dedication to God, not for acquiring merit for worldly and heavenly enjoyments, but for attaining liberation. Our focus changes, our vision changes. Such action is called karma yoga. The moment we turn action into karma yoga, we are on the way to breaking the cycle of birth and death. We are destroying the very sense of individuality by which karmas are sustained. For the masses, success implies attaining fulfillment as an individual. For a spiritual aspirant, on the other hand, the highest success in life is a state in which the individuality dissolves in the fullness of eternity, like a river joyfully merging into the fullness of the ocean. So the moment we achieve the inner resolve to become free of the bondage of this individuality, to stop serving Kansa and to apply our fragrant offerings to Krishna, we have broken the mighty bow and are on the threshold to liberation. See how deep these meanings are. If we are devoted and sincere, we can enjoy that purity of nectar right within our hearts. After we break the bow of pravritti, we are equipped with abhyasa. Abhyas means repeated effort, not just once or twice, but consistently doing it. And vairagya is dispassion. With abhyas, we repeatedly and persistently move towards the right course. With vairagya, we keep detaching ourselves from the old values that kept us in bondage. So we are, on one hand, we are reducing the bondage of the world. On the other hand, we are increasing our spiritual effort, and this gives us speed and momentum on our journey. With these two weapons symbolized by the parts of the broken bow wielded by Krishna against the attendants that attacked him, we can destroy those mental processes that follow in the wake of Kansa, the process that are obedient to ignorance and egoism. So that is the way. Let's move to the next episode, encountering Kubalya Peer, the mighty elephant. After breaking the bow and killing the attendants guarding it, Krishna and Balrama began to tour the city of Mathura, enjoying the elegant buildings and giving great joy to the citizens of Mathura, who were completely enchanted by their presence. When the sun set, the party returned to their quarters and deliberated upon what Kans might do the next day and how they would counteract those strategies. When Kans heard that Krishna and Balrama had broken the mighty bow and that they had destroyed a great army as if it was all fun, he was afflicted with great fear. He could not sleep during that night and became aware of evil omens foretelling his destruction. However, with the rising of the sun, Kans came to the amphitheatre amidst great fanfare and the sounding of trumpets. He faced the arena, seated on a high throne that would enable him to watch the heroes performing various feats. Thousands of citizens, officials, and kings of different states and kingdoms were present and took their respective seats before Kans. As Krishna, Balram, Nand, and the others entered the arena, at the very gate they encountered a wild elephant called Kubalya Peer, led by its Mahavat or caretaker. This was no ordinary elephant. Rather, it had the strength of 1,000 elephants and was trained to kill at the command of the Mahavat, who was himself a terrible demon. Krishna threatened the Mahavat with death if he did not let them pass, but this merely enraged the demon. Thinking that these two young boys were nothing before himself, the Mahavat drove a knife into Kubalya Peer's head, injuring him. This enraged the elephant as he rushed towards Krishna with lightning speed and gripped him tightly with his trunk. Krishna, however, made himself small and slipped out of the elephant's grip and hid himself between the elephant's pillar-like legs. Kubalya Peer, who had never been defeated before, became extremely angry and once again tried to get hold of Krishna with his trunk. Krishna then eluded the grip of the elephant and caught hold of his tail, dragging him over 300 feet. The terrible battle continued until Krishna finally triumphed over the elephant, pulling out his two tusks, and finally killed Kubalya Peer and its Mahavat. Then, in full view of the citizens of Mathura, the royal dignitaries and Kans himself, seated on the throne, Krishna and Balrama emerged triumphant, their bodies besmeared with blood and their faces shining with drops of perspiration. In their hands, each held a tusk of that mighty elephant. When Kansa saw Krishna and Balrama enter the arena victorious, he realized now that his death was close. The citizens of Mathura, however, were so enchanted by Krishna's divine majesty that they could not turn their gaze away. They were entranced by his presence. They talked among themselves, glorifying Krishna and Balrama and their exploits. They found it hard to believe two such sweet looking young boys were so powerful and had accomplished so much. So, with this, we conclude our satsanga for today, and we will cover this mystical meaning in tomorrow's satsang. This is Swami Nikhilanand. Om Tat Sat.